I would be so pissed as a Bucks fan typing into Google Bucks superstar trade and all I get is 5 best offers for Giannis. What if the Bucks do trade Giannis? The Warriors can land Giannis. Anyone ever think a star could join Milwaukee instead of leave? Giannis has said over and over the most important thing to him is winning. He's happy in Milwaukee as long as they win. If they lose in the Disney bubble, they will have to attract another superstar to convince Giannis to stay, or let Giannis leave and rebuild. No. The Bucks should absolutely try a desperation move to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. It is Trade Tuesday on AM Hoops. We're going to run down every realistic trade target to create a big 3 with Giannis and Khris Middleton. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. It is Trade Tuesday, and today I figured we've talked so much about Giannis leaving Milwaukee. Why not Giannis staying in Milwaukee, but they have to attract another superstar there? So we're going to explore how that works. Hit subscribe or notification bells and notification bells. It really helps out the channel. Monday through Friday, dropping a video at 5 Eastern. Also check out the AM Hoops podcast, a new episode every Friday morning. The perfect Giannis teammate needs to be another superstar, or at least star. Look, I know Khris Middleton is an all-star and he's efficient, but he is not a championship-level star. The last 10 champions, think about it. Raptors, Golden State, KD, Steph, Clay, Cavaliers, LeBron and Kyrie Irving. The Spurs, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Kawhi Leonard. The Heat, LeBron, D-Wade, Bosh. The Lakers, Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol. The outlier here is the Dallas Mavericks. The second best behind Dirk Nowitzki was Jason Terry. Jason Kidd was past his prime. So it can happen with one star, but it is really rare. So what do the Bucks need in this perfect star teammate? Well, it's hard to say because they do everything so damn well in the regular season. Top 3 in scoring and rebounding, field goal percentage and defense. But that's the regular season. The bottom line here is the playoffs. The Bucks depend on Giannis so much in the playoffs that while his teammates are good to really good, Giannis needs to play like an MVP every night in a 7-game series to win. And that is the luxury that other superstars in the league have. From Kawhi Leonard to LeBron James, even James Harden, they can have an off night in the playoffs and still win that series. So here are the characteristics we're looking at when considering the perfect star teammate. A 3-and-D wing. Wes Matthews is inconsistent here. And the Bucks in the playoffs need to guard elite wings like Pascal Siakam, Jason Tatum. In the finals, it could be LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard. A shot creator. Now, as great as Khris Middleton is, he is limited to shooting. This year, less than 20% of his shots came at the rim. Giannis and Eric Bledsoe are the only guys who can attack on the Bucks, and Bled is inconsistent in the playoffs. A ball handler. If you can't trust Bledsoe in the playoffs, then George Hill, at 34 years old, would have to be a championship #1. He is not. Of course, that's star quality. Some guys check all the boxes we talked about, but they're not a star, someone who can take over in the biggest games. And availability. Some players aren't on the trading block, but are realistic. Kawhi Leonard, for example, is not realistic. If you've got someone who checks all these boxes, let me know down below in the comments. I looked at everyone, and these 5 guys were the only realistic trade targets I could find to make a big 3 in Milwaukee. We're gonna rank them from worst to the best option. So number 5 is Devin Booker. Booker to the Bucks for Eric Bledsoe, Ersan Ilyasova, Robin Lopez, and 4 first-round picks. Indies in 2020, the Bucks in 21, 23, and 25, plus 2 pick swaps. That's a ton. Why it happens. Devin Booker wants to team up with another star after another losing year in Phoenix. The Bucks send Bledsoe back to the Suns, which of course is tough. He famously tweeted, "I don't want to be here." But there's a different GM and head coach since he left. But his contract is really the only one big enough to move outside of Khris Middleton or Brook Lopez. Ilyasova and Robin Lopez will be expiring contracts, and the Bucks moved the maximum amount of picks possible. This is literally all they can offer while keeping Khris Middleton. Devin Booker is another lights-out shooter to surround Giannis with, but he's so much more than that. He can create shots, get to the rim, and he's got that star quality to take over a game. The drawbacks, he's unproven in the playoffs, and Milwaukee might have to give up Middleton to get him, so this trade might not go through. That's why Devin Booker is number 5 on the list. Number 4, Blake Griffin to the Bucks for Bledsoe, Ilyasova, Robin Lopez, Dante DiVincenzo, and a 2021 first-round pick. Why it happens. Blake makes $36 million, so Milwaukee had to stack a ton of guys in this trade to equal his deal. The pluses here for the Pistons are getting Bledsoe to run point, which they need, and DiVincenzo is a young building piece. The Bucks do this to get an all-star from 2 years ago and give up just one first-round pick. Why is he so cheap? We know he's injury prone with a huge contract, but the Pistons can kickstart that rebuild now. If Blake Griffin can stay healthy, and that's a big if, he checks a lot of our boxes here. He's about average as a three-point shooter and defender, but that's better than a lot of players at his size can say. He's a playmaker and a shot creator who's got a lot of playoff experience. One thing I really like about Blake Griffin, he's the kind of teammate that plays well with other stars. Even though there were locker room issues with Chris Paul, Blake never had an ego as a Clipper on the court. I think he could be the perfect star teammate for Giannis. Number 3, Gordon Hayward to the Bucks in a sign and trade for Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and a 2021 first-round pick. Why it happens. If Gordon Hayward wanted to be a Buck, this is how it could happen. If Hayward opted out and became a free agent, the Bucks don't have cap space to sign him. Now they could acquire him at a trade at that 1 year, $34 million, or he could agree to a longer deal for less money, and the Bucks only give up 2 players in the sign and trade. I know it's complicated, but here's the bottom line. This is a great deal for Boston because they get Bledsoe as a bench scoring option. They've got a shallow bench, and Brook Lopez as that big man that they need. The Bucks do this because even though they would miss Brook Lopez, a big 3 of Giannis, Gordon Hayward, and Khris Middleton could absolutely win multiple championships. Robin Lopez then slides into that starting role at center to keep Giannis at power forward, or they sign someone off the street. Gordon Hayward also checks every box, but like Blake Griffin, he is a health concern. He has shown flashes since coming back, yes, but he's not consistent yet. Hayward is a great number 2 for Giannis. He's a versatile scorer. He plays good defense. He creates his own shot. The only thing he doesn't do at an elite level is handle the ball, but he has star qualities. The number 2 teammate is Chris Paul to the Bucks for Bledsoe, Ilyasova, Robin Lopez, DJ Wilson, Dante DiVincenzo, and a 2021 first. Why this trade happens? Obviously, Chris Paul's $41 million deal took 5 players to equal. Unbelievable. Now this trade happening means that the Bucks ownership is willing to go into the luxury tax after all. They weren't willing to last offseason, which is why they traded Malcolm Brogdon, a Rookie of the Year. Seemed crazy at the time. But Giannis is about to leave. They have to do something drastic. Now they include this 2021 first-round pick because other teams are bidding for Chris Paul here, driving up the price like the New York Knicks. The biggest knock on Chris Paul is playoff success. He's only been to 1 conference finals in 11 playoff trips, but I've got faith in CP3. Of course he's good enough to win a championship. We've seen how effective he still is on the Thunder, so his age isn't as much of a concern. The fit is amazing. Chris Paul showed in Houston he's got no problem being the second star on a team. He's a plus shooting and on defense, and he would stabilize the point guard position. But the best is Bradley Beal for Brook Lopez, DJ Wilson, Ilyasova, DiVincenzo, 4 first-round picks, Indies in 2020, the Bucks in 21, 23, and 25, and 2 pick swaps. Why it happens? The Wizards feel like the Beal Wall era is over, and they want to rebuild. This is literally the most picks and pick swaps the Bucks can offer. The package has to be built around a big contract, and the options were either Eric Bledsoe or Brook Lopez. Now the Wizards didn't want a 30-year-old, 6'1" point guard in Bledsoe under contract for 3 more years next to John Wall, so they took Lopez. Now for the Bucks side of things, yes, they gave away their future, but their present is a starting lineup of Eric Bledsoe, Bradley Beal, Khris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Robin Lopez. Beal is the best realistic teammate out there because he represents a dynasty. He's a star who creates for himself and others, a good shooter, and he plays good defense when motivated. He's just 27 years old, so a big 3 of Middleton, Beal, and Giannis are in their prime for the next 5 years. So if the Bucks lose at Disney World, it could set all this into motion. Giannis thinking about leaving, so they need to do whatever they can to convince him to stay. If it means selling their future, do it. If it means going into the luxury tax, do it. Because if they don't and Giannis walks, they may never have another Giannis-type player again. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.